We, and I actually mean I, am in for a real treat today. And when I say treat, I really mean it. Easily, probably, most likely my top 10. Actually, my top 5 most favorite Irish whiskies of all time. Ever. Let's drink some whiskey. The excitement here in Christy's is actually palpable today. And of course, welcome along to Whiskey and Whiskey. I'm the Whiskey Chaser Brian. I hope you're keeping well. So it's been a while since I drank a little bit of single malt whiskey. And I'm kind of in the mood and fancy something just really kind of outstanding. Remarkable, actually. Warning, total hype alert incoming. And I suppose also I've never actually drank a whiskey on the channel from Walsh Whisky that I can think of. Let's change that. This is the Irishman 17 single malt, single cask whiskey from Walsh Whisky. Now, many moons ago on a different video, I had said that there were 2 words that excite whiskey drinkers around the world, and those 2 words were cask strength. But in fact, I was wrong. There's 4. Single cask strength. And actually, depending on your preference, you could actually say there were 6 words if the last 2 words were single malt, or it could be pot still, either. I mean, you know, whatever you're into. So Walsh Whisky, based out of Carlow and in business since 1999, are currently premium-based independent bottlers and bonders set up by husband and wife duo Bernard and Rosemary Walsh. Emphasis on currently. If we jump back to 1999, and the couple came up with the idea to make an Irish coffee liquor, which they released as the Hot Irishman Irish Coffee. I'll actually try and find a picture of the original bottling so you can see what it looked like on the screen. But they were their humble beginnings. In 2006, we see the first bottling of the Irishman whiskey come out from the company. To the best of my knowledge, I believe it was actually called the Irishman 70 or something like that, which, you know, we know today as the Founders Reserves. And it was a premium blend of malt and pot still whiskeys. At the time, it had one of the highest malt contents of blended Irish whiskey on the market. I think it was in around the 70% malt to 30% pot still whiskey. There are 2 brands of whiskey coming from Walsh Whiskies for those that don't know. One is obviously the Irishman and the other is Writer's Tears. The idea behind each is that the Irishman plays on more of a historic Irish styles of whiskey, while Writer's Tears brand is that little bit more experimental or kind of edgy, even bordering on more contemporary style of Irish whiskey. If we jump forward to 2013 and news emerged that a new distillery in Carlow is to be built with Walsh's and investors Ilva Serrano from Italy. Skip to 2016 and the distillery opens and it's called Walsh's Whisky Distillery. We're skipping on again now to 2019 and we see an unfortunate demerger between the 2 businesses, and the Walsh's Distillery is renamed Royal Oak, while Walsh Whisky and Ilva Serrano sadly go their separate ways. It's always a little unfortunate to see that, but in business sometimes these things happen. The main thing is that the brand has remained. And I may have read somewhere recently that Walsh's are currently trying to procure investment for a new distillery, although, you know, that could be well into the future, and I'm not entirely sure on the current status of where they're at in the project. I just read it somewhere or watched a video somewhere. But the fact that the company are powering on is just a testament to the resilience to stay ahead and to stay going and to keep churning out fantastic whiskies. They do have a very solid following in Ireland and indeed worldwide, as they do distribute to a fairly substantial number of countries around the world. The Irishman 17-year-old single malt was first released in 2016 to mark Walsh Whisky Distillery's 17 years in business and a momentous year for the Walsh family with the commissioning of the distillery at Royal Oak. This is a super premium single malt that results from 17 years maturation in first fill sherry butt. This is not finished in, this is a full term matured in Oloroso sherry butt. You should be goddamn excited. 56% ABV non-chill filtered, triple distilled single malt. I know what you're thinking. They released a 17-year-old whiskey the same year they opened the distillery. Well, they were before that independent bottler, so you know well this is a sourced whiskey. And judging by the age, there is really only one of two places on the island of Ireland that would be able to distill whiskey like this. Perhaps one in the north, or perhaps one in the south. Or perhaps it's a little of both. I'll let you hazard a guess as to where it comes from, but the point here is that it's a single cask Oloroso sherry butt. And every year there are only 3 casks released with a maximum of 600 bottles per each cask. Doing the maths in my head, that's only 1,800 bottles per year. So once they're gone, they are literally gone until the next season, until they're bottled again. So realistically, these are small batch releases of 1,800 bottles per year. And that is something I did not know before I did the research for this video today. Thank God they're still bringing it out. Now, if you do happen to venture onto the whiskey-based website, it states that there are more than 3 casks released per year, but I have reached out to Walsh Whisky and they came back to tell me that no, there are only ever 3 casks and maximum 600 bottles per cask. So yeah, you heard it here first, folks. I'll leave a link to the whiskey-based page as well as all the Walsh distillery info in the description box below for you to check out. You're welcome. This bad boy here has also won a number of different accolades, including the 2019 winner of the Best Overall Irish Whiskey and the 2019 Best Single Cask Irish Whiskey at the Irish Whiskey Awards. And that's up there with some heavy hitters. And its price point. 17-year-old, triple distilled, single malt, matured in Oloroso sherry butts. What do you think? 180 to 190 euro maybe? Try 130 euro, which is not bad value actually, when you compare it to other similar whiskeys on the market. 17 years old, Oloroso sherry butt, triple distilled single malt. Funnily enough, I do remember buying this whiskey back in the day upon release for about 95 euro and actually more than one bottle at that price point. And it seemed like after they won those awards, the price might have crept up a little bit. And I don't know, maybe I got lucky with a few deals, but still at 130 euros, it's not bad value. And now it's time to drink. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the little notifications bell to be informed when a new video is uploaded. Your support is greatly appreciated. Like and subscribe, hun. Okay, to sum up once again before I absolutely guzzle this, 56% ABV, triple distilled single malt, non-chilled filtered, matured in Oloroso sherry butts, 3 casks per year with a maximum of 1,800 bottles. This is bottle number 3 of 600. And it was laid down in 2002, cask number 6963. I did try to get the 99 bottling. Look at that color. Okay, so on the nose, and I'm expecting some real lovely, lovely sherry notes here. And yep, sherry and malt sweetness with a very obvious dark chocolate note. There's some lovely oak spiciness and woodiness to this, kind of a real nice treacle behind that then. At the very back, a touch of orchard fruits from the single malt. The woody notes are very crispy, I would say. Very, very good. Very complex. Very beautiful. The nose is one thing, let's see what the palate has to offer. Sláinte. Straight away, the dark chocolate note and a very prominent raisins note. Oak spice, full on sherry loveliness. Absolutely no bitterness. There's a hint of orchard fruits from the single malt, but it mingles with the sherry notes and gives a lovely sweetness to it. There's almost like a dark fruit to it, like as well from the sherry. It's raisins, but almost plum as well. That kind of richness. Some nuttiness. Again, really complex. There's loads going on. The palate it's changing over time. On the finish, you have the dark chocolate again, malty biscuit, oak spice, not overpowering, very well tied in, very well, I don't want to say it because I do all the time, but everything is kind of matching up here. You get the sweetness at the back of the tongue from the sherry. It's evolving. It has changed so much since I swallowed it. You know, the plum sweetness at the back. I mean, it's dying out slowly, but it's revealing some really beautiful woody notes. This is just wow. It is a cask strength whiskey, so I'm going to do something a little sacrilegious in my opinion, but for the sake of the video, needs must, I'm gonna add some water. And there's not much left in this. I didn't pour a big drop, so I'm only gonna put 1 or 2 drops in here. Okay, so on the nose now, you're getting a little bit more of that woody spice kind of coming through. Still very sweet, still the raisins, but it's not as prominent. That kind of plum note seemed to be subsided a little bit more kind of tamer, as you would expect. It's still absolutely gorgeous. Getting a little bit of the malt at the back again, just everything is dialed down. That's not a whiskey that needs water. On the palate, Sláinte. Kind of a little bit tamer overall with all the flavors. Still getting that incredible sweetness from the sherry and the malt. Even the plum has subsided a small bit, but you're getting more woody notes coming through, more nuttiness. Absolutely outstanding. The finish, much the same as before, except just dialed back an awful lot. Not lasting as long, obviously. Well, it didn't take as big as a mouthful either. But yeah, that's not a whiskey, I think, in my opinion, that needs a drop of water. You could drink that all evening long, neat. No need to adjust, no need to change, no need to up. To sum up, I think, actually no, I would without a doubt put this whiskey into the outstanding category. When you take into account how the complexity lasts across the nose and the palate, the two of them matching up, and again with the finish, it just all ties in super well together and it doesn't finish abruptly. It has some serious hang time to it that really, for this price point, is absolutely incredible, and it evolves. Now, disclaimer, I am not endorsed by Walsh Whisky. This bottle here belongs to the bar, and all these thoughts are my own. If you've had this whiskey, I'm absolutely dying to know what you thought of it. Leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Now, I haven't had this whiskey in quite a long time, and I forgot how good it was. And I definitely think I'm gonna have to keep an eye online, and I'm gonna have to make a little bit of an investment because it's just incredible. And honestly, to date, I haven't really particularly had a lot of expressions from Walsh Whisky, but this definitely watches space because I'm going to get more for the channel very shortly. As said before, there's lots more to come. I meant it. So I don't really have much more to say about that topic. Kind of covered it quite well. Again, if you liked any of that, don't forget to show me some love and consider subscribing and thumbs up to the channel. You know, as Nike says, just do it. Many thanks to the lads here and Christy's for the sample here today. Again, this is here and waiting for when we all get back to a bit of normal living, hopefully soon. As always, it's been real and delicious. Look after yourselves and I'll chat to you soon. Chaser out. Sláinte.